Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our episode 6 of Need Spot Career webinar series. Every month we bring industry experts to talk about their career choice and what they're doing, and then share their valuable insights with you. This time it is a little bit different because we have brought a workshop for you, and we have brought an amazing speaker with us who will be sharing insight about consulting business, mainly about launching your consulting business. As you know, a lot of the time, why basically you would go for consulting business is the fact that sometimes you don't want to lose your day job, 9 to 5 job, but you still want to have another, set of income or earning, or you are a busy mother and you have to juggle with, motherhood and work and, usual traditional 9 to 5 job, which is normally not 9 to 5 sometimes would be difficult for you in terms of managing and household work and other things. So having your own clients, having your online consulting business can solve a lot of the problems. But the thing is, how do you start one? This is why we have brought this session just for you. And so, Faria, first of all, hello. Our speaker, Faria, is a mompreneur herself. She also have her consulting business, and Faria will share this valuable insight with you. So, Faria, I don't want to further introduce you. You're an amazing speaker, so please take it from here. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. So I'll just get started by sharing my screen.
Sure.
All right. You can see? Yep.
Yes, I can see.
Awesome. All right, fantastic. So let's get started on how to develop your lead funnel to get started and launch your consulting business in the first place. Um, But before we go into it, I'll just give a brief background about myself. So, like Sarah said, I am a mompreneur. I have over 10 years of project management experience, and I've been doing this sales funnel thing for about more than 3 years now, almost. And I have a master's in management, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So, it all kind of started like February of 2020, which is like feels ages ago. Everything feels like it's pre-pandemic and post-pandemic now. But starting in February 2020, kind of getting tired of my 9 to 5 job. I really wanted a hustle, a side hustle, where I can spend on, little luxuries. The new iPhone was calling my name at the time, and I had watched way too many Gary V videos, and it was all about thrive and not just survive. And that's when I kind of got into digital marketing and online sales funnel. And after watching the 10th webinar on all the systems and how a sales funnel is developed, I really fell in love because my project management kind of made an amazing fit with the marketing through sales funnel. And I really loved the aspect where I got to make an impact for other small businesses or other entrepreneurs that are just starting out, help them kind of get known, start making money. And I started calling myself the business sidekick for fempreneurs. But I do have all entrepreneurs and from every gender. But I like to call myself the Robin to your Batman. And I will look at ways to optimize your sales funnel. And that's kind of how I got started in consulting. And then I moved a little bit into coaching as well, where I do workshops like this for entrepreneurs who kind of want to learn the basics. And now, what is a funnel? Everyone keeps talking about it, but no one tells you what it is, right? Very, very simply put, a funnel is from the it's a journey map. So it's from the point where your audience kind of finds out about you, so actually learns about your brand, to the point where they become a customer. And that whole journey, going from a viewer to a customer to becoming a loyal customer to becoming your fan, and actually promoting you is what a funnel is like. And the basic purpose of a funnel is to generate leads and convert your viewers into customers, but using a template. Because if you can have some basic process, then you can replicate it again and again and again without having to worry about, redoing a whole ad campaign every single time, or launching a full content campaign every single time starting from scratch. It's going to be really hard if you do that. And you're an entrepreneur, you have to wear 50 different hats as it is. You don't have time to keep doing the process from scratch every single time. So a funnel provides you with a template that you can kind of replicate and optimize as you're going along, because in a funnel, you're also putting in some key performance indicators, so KPIs, to measure the success of the funnel. So you can be looking at conversion, which is basically, are they doing what I want them to do? So from a viewer of an Instagram post, are they clicking like, right? That is a very basic way to measure whether your funnel is working or not. But at every step, you kind of measure the success of, did the potential customer do what you wanted them to do? That's why funnels are so fantastic, because not only do they create a process, they create some way for you to measure your success, so you can continue optimizing it, making it better, making it better, making it better, till you get the highest conversion that you can get. Okay. The way I like to think of a lead funnel, which is the beginning of a whole sales funnel, is, well, we'll look at it like a cake, right? So your content, which is your social media post, maybe you are standing at marketplace, or you do a video on LinkedIn, or you do an ad, whatever it may be, the content piece is kind of like the sparkle dazzle on top of the cake, the fruits, or like the writing, or the beautifully piped frosting on top. That is what will attract your customer to you, right? That's the awareness level, where they're kind of like, who is this person, right? And then the next thing they're going to look at is that layer of frosting on top of the cake, right? So that's the sign up page. This is usually where they will buy into whatever you're trying to sell. Now, a lead funnel is a free offer. So when you go into the offer part, where they're kind of having the delicious buttercream in the middle with the cake, that is going to be free for lead funnel. Okay, because you're just trying to get them to eat one slice of cake for free, so that you can sell them the whole cake a little bit later. Okay, so you get your content, the razzle dazzle. The sign up page is where they're going to buy into the free offer. And then once they have the cake and the actual frosting and actual cake, which is the offer, free offer, and the connection, which I'm going to go into in a little bit because it's a little bit intensive, that's when they'll be like, I love this slice of cake, I want more, right? And that's when you're going to actually sell them, be like, hey, you want more slices of cake? Now you need to pay up. Okay. So the content piece, like I mentioned, is the social media piece. So first of all, you're going to focus on where your ideal client is, whether they're on Instagram or Pinterest or LinkedIn. It really depends on where they're looking. Okay. Not just where they're looking, where they are looking for solutions that you are going to be offering. So for example, your customer is watching Pinterest and TikTok and LinkedIn at the same time. Okay. But they have 3 different mindsets when they are on those 3 different platforms. So you have to think about, okay, so on Pinterest, my ideal client, who is a professional or a B2B business, the human behind the B2B business, is very likely searching for DIY inspirations, just as an example. On TikTok, that same exact person is very likely looking for content like entertainment, maybe some funny videos, etc., etc. However, on LinkedIn, Maybe they are looking for professional connections. Maybe they are looking for consulting solutions. So then you have to focus yourself on LinkedIn versus the other, social media platform. Of course, it's great if you can take your LinkedIn video, take your LinkedIn post and post it on the other platforms as well. It just increases your visibility. However, you are very likely to get the highest conversion or get the highest ROI through LinkedIn, because that's where your ideal customer is actually paying attention to the solution you're offering. Okay. And the second thing is niching your content. When you're trying to sell to everybody, you're really selling to nobody. So it is best that you are very specific about, one, who you are trying to help through your offer, and two, about what problem you're solving. Even if you choose exact person who you're trying to help with, but you're trying to solve all their problems, what's going to end up happening is they're going to have so much information overload, they won't be able to make a decision. But if you tell them, hey, I'm going to solve this very specific problem for you, I'm not trying to be your end all be all solution, you're much more likely to get them to sign up versus trying to get them to do everything. Like, for example, for this webinar, we very specifically focused on lead funnel instead of saying, oh, we're going to tell you the whole sales funnel in an hour. It can be done. And it would have been too much information to give in an hour. You won't be able to act on it. Whereas on a lead funnel, you are more likely to act on that. Okay. Use the whys to tell emotional stories. So when you are trying to convey how amazing your offer, your consulting service is, talk about the benefits. I'm going to repeat this a few times. Talk about the benefits of your solution. Don't talk about how you're giving the solution. Don't talk about what the little pieces, what the little steps of your solution are, or what the little steps of your services are. Just tell them what the benefit for them is, because that makes more sense, right? Think about from their perspective, what would be the ideal situation for them. What is their vision that they're trying to achieve in their business, in their life, whatever kind of consulting you're offering, and how you can help them achieve that, because that's what you want to be selling. You don't want to be selling your services as, oh, I'm doing digital marketing service, or I'm a website developer. Yeah, that's totally amazing. But the way you want to sell it is, hey, are you tired of wasting time, trying to get your website right, but you want to spend more time enjoying your business instead of struggling with websites? That's how you would go about trying to sell your website development business, right? Like telling them about the benefit, instead of having to deal with that problem, let me make it easier for you, right? So you can enjoy your business. And for your social media posts, for any for any social media post, for any ad, for any content that you put out, whether that's a speaker event, always, always, always remember to have a call to action. That's what a CTA stands for. So a call to action can be very simple, like, hey, remember to follow me on Instagram, or hey, remember to DM me to talk about XYZ. So you don't just give them the information, you tell them what to do with that information. So they're not just left, oh, okay, I consumed this really great, valuable webinar. I consumed this really great, valuable social media post. I consumed this really great, valuable flyer, etc. But they didn't tell me what to do. I'm not going to do it, right? So give them a clear direction of exactly what you want them to do, okay? And usually what you'd want them to do is sign up or click on your sign up page. A sign up page is basically, when you go to a website and you see a pop-up, that's all it is. If you want it that simple, or you can do a whole page, a whole website page. It's one page website that you have all the information about your free offer, and the next thing is our free offer, so I'll go into that in a little bit. But again, you focus on the emotional why. That is your powerful hook, right? Are you tired of spending time not enjoying your business instead of having to struggle with website development, or if you're becoming a virtual assistant consultant, are you tired of struggling with the admin work and not being able to enjoy the passion that you brought in with your business at the beginning, stuff like that. So kind of like play on their emotions, because at the end of the day, we can very logically think about our options. We can very logically think about what we're buying, but shopping is still an emotional behavior. Okay. One thing about your lead funnel, like I said before, one clear solution. What am I gonna get out of your offer? Okay, one very specific thing. Don't list 10 things. Oh yeah. For example, for this webinar, I'm gonna give this example because it's really good. Sarah did an amazing job. For this webinar, what we could have said, hey, you're going to be developing your lead funnel. We're going to be talking about sign up page. We're going to be talking about your offer. We're going to be talking about your content. That would be too much. You're not understanding what the benefit is. But we clearly said, hey, through the lead funnel webinar, you're going to launch your consulting business. Simple as that. That is the benefit you're going to get out of it. So that's what you want to do when you're writing up your sign up page too. Okay. You just want to have one clear solution that the person, when they read it, they're going to say, oh yeah, I want this, and they sign up. Okay. Again, simple and easy to implement call to action. Now, the sign up page call to action is usually just, hey, put in your first name and your email address. The reason why you want the first name is because when you're sending out the emails, you kind of want to personalize it. Say, hey, Faria, instead of hey, person, or hey, subscriber. It doesn't sound as good. Also, if Google sees like hey, subscriber, it's very likely to put your email into spam, and you don't want that, right? You want it to go to the actual person's inbox. You want them to read, and a user is much more likely to read the email if they see their own name. Okay, so the simplest call to action on your sign up page will be, hey, put in your sign up here by putting in your name and your email address. Okay. And like I said, explain features and benefits. Don't explain the how. You don't need to go into so much details. Just tell them exactly what they're going to get out of it. They're going to find out the how once they sign up, right? Once you get their email address, then you'll tell them how. Okay. Now, the offer itself, okay, this is the lead funnel. This is not your sales funnel. This is not where you're selling your sales services. Okay, this is not where you're selling your consulting services. It's not where you're selling a package of, hey, do 2 hours of consulting with me, etc., etc. This is not where you're doing that. That's not what a lead funnel is. Lead funnel is to generate leads. Okay, so your offer is going to be a free offer. So first, you have to know, what your ideal client actually wants. Okay, because if your lead funnel is something that they don't even want, well, then you spent a lot of time. You probably created something free for them, and then they don't even want it. Like, you wasted time, right? You're not getting the return on investment that you were hoping for. So make sure that you know what your ideal client or your customer persona actually wants. How do you know this? You ask, right? So you can literally DM people, ask your friends. There are people who have literally stood in front of Eaton Center. I know entrepreneurs that have stood in front of Eaton Center and just asked people, like, it's called market validation, where you ask people, hey, if you got this information for free, would you want it? Or is there something else that you would prefer, right? So you want to do your market validation. You want to make sure before you create your free offer, you figure out what your ideal client would actually like to know, right? What information they'll find valuable. The same thing with the defining the obstacle that's stopping your ideal client from getting their result. So first, what do they actually want? What would they find valuable? And 2 is why they're not getting what they want. Okay, the reason why you ask them, okay, what's stopping you from getting what you want, from getting from achieving the life that you want, from achieving the business streams that you want, well, when they tell you, oh yeah, I don't have time, or oh yeah, I just don't have access to the information, or oh, I don't have the skills, etc., etc., you're going to use that in your sign up page. Okay, so when you write up your sign up page, you're going to hit on those problems, because that's really going to speak to them, and it's going to make them more inclined to sign up, versus you just saying, oh, hey, sign up because this is free information. Well, that's great, but if you're not hitting the right chord with them, again, because they're emotional beings, even if it's a B2B, you're not going to get the conversion. And that's what a funnel is all about. Okay, I'm going to keep doing this again and again, because I know entrepreneurs like to solve all the problems in the world, but focus on one solution. Okay, even your offer, you're focusing on one solution. So when you're selling it, you're focusing on one solution. When you are actually creating it, you're focusing on one solution. And I'll explain in a second why only solving one solution in an offer. Okay. The other thing is you choose a medium that fits your client. Okay. For example, it's the same thing with when you're creating content, right? If your ideal client would prefer learning about a certain free information, like say how to optimize your website, that's kind of the free information you're giving them out, and they like watching videos, and you have created a long PDF, and you've worked really hard on this PDF, but you've created a PDF, and they prefer consuming that information via video. Well, you've lost them again, right? Because they're never actually going to act on it, because that's not how they want to consume that information. Okay. Same thing with any kind of webinar, right? If your webinar is set up in a way that doesn't speak to them, that doesn't work for them, because that's not how they like consuming the information, then they're not going to act on it. It's going to sit. I have a huge folder. I'm sure you have a folder too. I have a huge folder that's just full of freebies that I never ever watched, I never ever read, which is unfortunately just getting dust now. At this point, it's getting virtual dust. It's sitting in my on my computer's desktop. Okay, so make sure you focus on the medium. Now, there are types of offer or examples that I want to give to you. One is very clear and very simple, and maybe that's how you want to start out, right? It's called a free discovery call. Okay, so all they have to do is, maybe sign up on your Calendly, or just through DM, you set up a call and you have a virtual meeting, right? On Zoom, on Google Meets, whatever you're comfortable with. And you have a virtual meeting, and they kind of tell you, oh yeah, this is what I'm dealing with, this is the kind of problems I'm having. And maybe out of the problems that they tell you about, you help them kind of get one problem not solved, but like a clear understanding of what steps they could take to solve it, because they're very likely to go, oh, okay, so your stuff, right? That's what you want them to do. That you want them to understand how valuable you are, and by telling them, oh, this is kind of how you can solve this information, this is how you can solve this problem through information, then you are more likely to get them to see your value. Okay. A lot of us entrepreneurs are told that, oh, hey, gatekeep your information. Don't do that. Okay. It's not going to help you. I don't gatekeep. I will just tell, if you jump on a call with me, I will give you all the answers. Okay. I can give you all the steps, but the likelihood of another entrepreneur, another business taking all those steps is not as likely as we think it is. Okay. Maybe out of 10 calls that I do, 3 of them will go on to do it on their own. The other 7 will say, hey, since you know your stuff, let me just sign up with you. Let me just get a contract with you, and you can take care of it for me. Okay. So when you're giving away information, don't worry too much. about, unless you have some IP, which is like your secret sauce, which is totally fine. But generally, if you're giving general information, don't worry too much about giving away too much information, because like I said, just because they have the information doesn't mean they're going to actually act on it and not want to work with you. Okay. And the second free offer that you can provide is a webinar. Just like this, you set up a Zoom call and you just pick one problem that you want to solve for them, and you kind of give them the information. Again, don't gatekeep anything, just let them have all the information, because you want them to see your value. Okay, there's no point in hiding information, because a lot of the times the problem isn't that, oh, I don't have access to the information, because everyone has Google now. And now there's ChatGPT. You can literally tell ChatGPT, hey, give me this information, right? So, well, you got to fact check it, but more than likely you can get the information off Google. So don't worry too much about giving away all the information you have on the webinar, but just know that it is less likely that they're going to want to do it themselves. They'll prefer to have a contract with you so you can develop the strategies for them. Okay. Another thing is, like I said, like checklist, where if you have a process that's, let's say a process in project management, for example, or a lead funnel process, just as an example, if you're a consultant in sales funnels, and you have a checklist that works really well for you and you use it all the time, you can give that away for free. You don't even have to create something new. You already have an existing checklist and you can give that away for free. Again, it will show them your value. Okay. Just because they have the checklist doesn't mean that, they're just gonna not need what you are offering. Okay. Another one is kind of a fun one, where we can go back to BuzzFeed quizzes, if any one of you has done those. But you would create a quiz. So for example, if you are a life coach or a life consultant, right? What you can do is you can create a quiz about a particular style, right? If you're doing a life consultant for folks who want to become leaders in their life. Okay, what is your leadership style? Or what is your networking style? What's any one of those key pieces in your consulting? You can just make a quiz out of it, and that will kind of pipe people's interest. And you can then take it from there. And you can ask them to, oh, okay, it's awesome that this is your style. These are exactly the kind of people that I love working with. How would you like to work with me, kind of thing, right? So again, you give them a quick win. So either you give them information that they find valuable, or you give them a checklist which they can act upon a little bit, or you give them a webinar where, again, they get the information to take some kind of action. Again, keep it simple so that they can take that quick action and see your value. Okay. All right, so the connection piece, right? The actual meat, the actual cake is emails or DMs. Okay, so in your sign up page, you got their email, right? You gave them the free offer, whether that's a webinar, whether that's a call, whether that's a checklist or a quiz, whatever it may be, right? You gave it to them, but you don't want to lose that connection. Okay, you don't want to have given them the value and they're like, oh great, okay, done, right? I'm done now, I don't have to deal with this person anymore. No, they've already shown that they're interested in what you're offering, in what your knowledge area is. You don't want to lose them as a lead, because they're already a warm lead now. Okay, you've seen them take action. So now you want to turn it into a hot lead. And the way you would do that is through the emails. So you will consistently email them more value. You will maybe tell them a story about, oh my God, one of my clients had this kind of problem and that's how they dealt with it. Then they worked with me and I solved their problem. And now they're doing really well. Like, you show a success story, right? Because then they can see themselves like, oh my God, there was another person that had a similar problem as me. And by working with you, they were successful, etc. They got whatever solved, or whatever problem they would need solved, right? So you want to think about creating almost an email sequence, so you have multiple emails going out. It doesn't have to be every day. Please don't do it every day. People will not like you if you send an email every single day. But it could be every 10 days, right? Well, I like 10 days because um it's not so specific that it has to be every 2 weeks, and it's not weekly that it becomes overwhelming. But every 10 days or so, you can send an email out, and you create a sequence in advance so that people keep the problem that you've solved for them fresh in their mind, and how you can solve the next problem for them. Okay. And again, continuously, the obstacles and the objections that you got during the market validation phase, you want to keep reminding of them, because they're dealing with it. So it's right on the surface for them. And by sending them emails again and again, by reminding them, you're making it urgent. Okay. You're reminding them, you're putting it on top of their head. They want it solved now. How they want it solved now? Well, they're going to sign up with you, and they're going to purchase with you, and they're going to contract you as their consultant. Okay. Now, there are some tools that you can use to create all the pieces of the funnel. Okay. So for an offer, like I said, webinar, you can just do it via Zoom. If you want to create a fancy PDF or an ebook, you can do that through Canva. Or if you have a checklist, it's a template that you already have, right? Quiz, a great platform is Typeform, which you can create a quiz that you like, or you can even do a Google form. It doesn't have to be, that fancy. You could do a quiz through Google form, okay? It's just a little more manual if you do it that way, and you don't get a result right away. A sign-up page, you could draft it in your Google Docs, in a Word doc. Now, one of my favorite platforms, if you don't already have a website, is ConvertKit. I really, really, really love ConvertKit. It is very, very user-friendly, and it kind of like, it makes it so easy for you to create a sign-up page, or they call it a landing page. Write all your information in, make it nice visually, and then it also allows you to create an email sequence. So that's why I really love ConvertKit. But if you do have a website, you can just create those those pop-ups that come up on any website, like, oh, hey, join my newsletter. Don't ever say join my newsletter. Nobody wants to join the newsletter. Okay. Everyone wants something specific. If you just say join my newsletter, it's just too general. Nobody wants to do that anymore. Okay. There are like millions of newsletters to read from. But you could also do a sign-up page through a Google form, right? You can keep it as simple as possible if you like. Now, if you are doing a discovery call, you can even take that a step further back, where you don't need a sign-up page. You can get rid of it completely, and you can just have a Calendly, or you can just text via DM, LinkedIn messages or Instagram messages, whatever it may be, or WhatsApp, or just text, and find a date that works for you and the other person, and create a Zoom link or something like that. If that's easy for you, right? So you can skip the sign up page altogether. The emails, so you would create multiple emails. Again, yes, you can do that through ChatGPT. You can just ask it to create multiple emails. Just remember to fact check it, okay? And remember to make sure that it has your voice, okay? Because whoever signed up for your free offer, whoever has been watching your content, or whoever has been talking to you, they want to hear you, okay? They don't want to hear XYZ person, or like, an AI. They want to hear you, right? So again, you can do emails to ConvertKit. You can set up a sequence of emails to go out. I believe there is a free version of ConvertKit that you can sign up for. And then ConvertKit is more user-friendly, but MailChimp is way more robust in terms of CRM. So if you've hit that 100+ mark, you can turn to MailChimp, right? And one thing about emails is you want to get a catchy headline, right? You don't want a headline that doesn't catch people's attention. So the co-scheduler headline tool is a great way for you to get a really catchy headline. Yes, you can do that through ChatGPT. I think we're in like a post ChatGPT world too. So yes, you can do it through ChatGPT as well. But what's awesome about the co-schedule headline tool, it actually tells you the effectiveness of your headline. I believe it's a free tool as well. So it tells you the effectiveness of your headline, like how likely are people to click on your email headline when they see it in their inbox, right? Which is very important for you because you want them clicking. Because if a lot of people are not clicking on your email and they just, delete your email without even opening it, Google is going to start thinking you are a spam. Okay, and you do not want that, right? So you want to have a catchy title that kind of captures people's attention so that they open it, and Google doesn't start putting you in the spam folder. Okay, that's one thing. And the second thing about avoiding people's spam box is going through your email subscribers list and getting rid of people who are not opening your email. That's why it's so good to use a platform like ConvertKit or MailChimp, because it will literally tell you, hey, XYZ email address has not opened your email in like the past 4, 5, 6 months, right? So you can get rid of that email address because they're clearly not interested and they're just kind of hurting your email KPIs. Okay. Content, a lot of us know this, but I would still just iterate it. You can schedule your post out through the Facebook Creator Studio. There are a lot of schedulers. There's Later, that's really fantastic too. And you can just batch create your content. Video is king. I know a lot of us don't like showing our faces. I'm really uncomfortable with it too, but video is king. People prefer watching. But you can batch create them all together and just schedule them out so you don't have to worry about them like posting it constantly. And you can use Canva for any kind of visuals that you want to create. Okay. So I mean, that's it for me. Sarah, did you want to open up the Q&A?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I was mute. That's the most popular line since pandemic. Anyway, so first of all, Faria, thank you very much to be here. And it's amazing. It's always amazing to listen to your sessions, even the casual ones. And what I loved about you is always, asking the right questions. Even though I don't have answers to that, but it always makes me think. I'm just gonna go for the questions that we have right now. So we cover that. I do have my questions as well, but I'm gonna ask later. And so one of the question is, what is basically when we are talking about the funnel, we're filtering out certain things, right? At the end of the day, we're getting what we desire, what is the right thing, right? What's at the top of the funnel? And then the part B is like, is lead funnel same as the sales funnel?
Yeah, so awesome questions. So the top of the funnel is like the awareness level. So this is where folks, what they would do is they would see your content, they become a viewer, right? They become aware of your brand, whether that's through social media post or an ad, or they saw you speaking at an event, or you were at a marketplace. The first time that they become aware of your brand is where it becomes, the top of the funnel, right? And then the difference between a lead funnel and a sales funnel is lead funnel can feed into a sales funnel. So a lead funnel is like kind of the beginning of your sales funnel. But alternatively, lead funnels objective is to generate leads. It's not to make a sale. Okay. And a sales funnel objective is to make a sale, right? So that's the difference, kind of, where one is generating leads that you can then put into a sales funnel to convert into sales. But you get, like, they're supposed to work together. They're not really separate in the same sense. They're kind of like chapter 1, chapter 2 in a sense, because essentially when you generate leads, you want them to become a client at one point, right? But if you're just launching a consulting business, maybe at this time all you want to do is generate leads. Like, you want to get started before you're ready and before you have your services defined, right? So that's why you don't need to worry about a whole sales funnel. You can just get started with a lead funnel, generate your leads, so you have someone to sell to.
Okay, so this is pretty clear. Thank you for clarifying, Faria. Faria, you shared something, this question about your slide about offer, or before offer. What did you mean by medium, like opt for medium? I'm not sure if this is something
Sorry.
you shared about.
Oh,
Like,
medium. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So medium is basically, it's just an unnecessarily jargon. It's a simple way, it's another way of saying, like, whether they want video or a book or a PDF or one pager, like a checklist, or like, that's all what a medium is, like how they want the information presented.
Okay, so I think what I heard was like you want to go for medium, and I think I misheard that part, but thanks for clarifying that part. So another question is it says one thing that puts me off is a new business asking for upfront large lump sum. It scares me because I don't trust them yet. So if I am that person, like if I am that business, how and when do you think I should talk money?
So, again, for the lead funnel, you're not talking money, right? It's later on. So a lead funnel is kind of when they're getting warm, right? Because they've gone through all the steps, they're reading your emails, they're kind of finding value in what you have to give. When you have established yourself as an expert, even if you're a new business, right? You have expertise in whatever you're consulting for, right? Even if you've been doing in-house accounting, in-house legal, like as a lawyer, like a general counsel, whatever it may be, you might be doing it for your corporate 9 to 5 for years, right? And you're spending the lead funnel as your time to kind of convey your expertise, to develop that trust, to build that relationship, and actually tell them, hey, I have authority in what I'm saying, right? Just because I started a new consulting business doesn't mean I don't have authority. I've been doing this exact same process for years in the corporate world, and I can bring that to you, right? So you are spending the lead funnel to develop such a strong relationship that even if you ask $10,000 during your sales call, they're like, okay, that makes sense because I've been watching you, right? Because I've been seeing you, and I know you're an expert. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah. Lead
Okay,
funnel is
so
very
now yeah,
good.
yes. So I have this question for you. How difficult it was for you to start your consulting, journey, and especially you started solo. So
It was not easy, because the imposter syndrome hits you hard, right? You
yes.
constantly are worried about, oh, like you said, am I good enough? Is anyone gonna even wanna pay for me, et cetera, et cetera. And what I found was when I was lowballing myself and not asking for a lot, and I always go overboard. Like I will have a contract that I'll do 3 things for you, and I end up doing 20 things. That's just the way my personality is, that I'm trying to kind of control. Um, but I was lowballing myself, so I was really unhappy in my business, and I didn't want to do it anymore. Right? You don't want to do that to yourself, right? So, and another thing I found was when I was lowballing myself, the clients that I was working for, fantastic people, but they did not value my services as much as when I was doing it for the higher end clients. Obviously, they were investing more with me, but they understood the value much more because they saw all the KPIs as something that, oh, this is something that I should pay attention to. Whereas the lowball ones were, when I was lowballing myself, it was more like, okay, I didn't pay much for it, so I'm not expecting a lot out of it. You know what I mean? Even though I was going above and beyond. So then when I would be like, oh, I was actually doing this offer for free for you, um, would you be able to like increase it now? They would say, no, we don't really want to because we were getting it for free, right? So you have to kill your imposter syndrome, okay? You have to not be insecure. You have to, you know, I one of my friends, actually, I'm her accountability partner, and she lowballs herself as well. I think it's generally a woman's thing to lowball ourselves because of insecurities.
Trust me, it's not just in business, but I've seen them in the corporate world as well, in the
Absolutely.
interview process and the whole hiring process as well. So I agree with you.
So what I would do, and I told her to do, is make a list of all your accomplishments, okay, and stick it. Like if you see a phone all the time, like make your background of the phone just a list of all your accomplishments, because you need to keep reading it, right? You need to keep practicing it. You need to do an elevator pitch, look at yourself in the mirror and keep doing your elevator pitch, listing out all your accomplishments. Okay, it takes time, because this is not just a business thing. It is more mental health thing that you have to work on. So yeah, don't discount yourself just because of your insecurities, because once you see how much you've accomplished and you read it over and over and over again, it helps you ask for what you actually deserve. And then the client feels like they're getting more out of it, right? They're not just getting someone who's randomly you know a discount purchase, right? It's something that they've invested in and they will see more value out of it. It's a weird thing. It's like it's almost like it's like a foreseen value. I think that's the word for it.
Or
Oh,
perceived value.
perceived value, that's right. It's like the perceived value. So, and I've seen that folks that my clients, when I was kind of new, so I wasn't paying, I wasn't asking for much, even though I had like years and years of project management experience. um they were not as much my fans and like you know folks who talked about me as my high-end clients. Like my high-end clients have referred me to multiple people because they saw more of a value, right? So don't discount yourself. Believe in your abilities, in your capabilities, and if you need to do affirmations every day, do affirmations every day. Do whatever you need. But that's kind of been my experience in this consulting world.
Well, thank you so much, Faria, for sharing. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something interesting. Throughout the session, you had a list of don't do's, right? Don't do this. And I'm not going to lie, I have, performed. There were more than two or three things that I did it, right? So I have been thinking, okay, that's a don't do. And I think you were right. Okay, this I didn't see a positive, outcome. And this was a learning point for me as well. And it has always been always talking to you. So this is very wonderful. And I hope that our audiences and whoever attend this also enjoy the session and see value in it. And hopefully in future we can get together more and talk about on different topics related to, sales and consulting business. In fact, other businesses as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much, Faria. We are a bit over time, but I'm not gonna, make you like stay for long. Thank you so much. I'm just going to wrap up now. So, everyone who is listening and will be listening later on, please note that we every month we are bringing industry experienced personalities to talk about different topics related to their career and as well as entrepreneurship. So, starting from today, we are bringing more workshops for you down the line. So please don't forget to sign up and contact us as at inquiry@needspot.ca. Thank you so much for watching. See you later. Bye bye.